Thought that this day might never come. From the moment Holly was abducted from her home on April 13th, 2011, her parents have been on this seemingly interminable quest for justice. But tonight they can say with certainty that it was Zachary Adams who kidnapped and killed their little girl. For 6 years they have waited for Holly to come home, waited for justice.
When the verdict is announced, there can be a potential for things very emotional.
At 4:45 today, though, it became clear all that waiting wasn't for nothing.
These people have given up over 2 weeks of their life to come in here and do their civic duty.
One by one.
But has the jury reached a verdict in this case?
Charge by charge.
You checked guilty of...
Zach Adams' fate was sealed by a jury of his peers. Guilty on all 8 counts, including first-degree murder. A presumption of innocence gone in an instant.
Mr. Foreman, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
His mother left the courtroom in tears, knowing her son could be sentenced to death. Holly's parents hugged prosecutors, thanking them for delivering the verdict they wanted, then formed a prayer circle inside the courtroom where they've spent the last 2 weeks of their lives.
We're very disappointed in the verdict.
There are no winners in a case like this, only losers and survivors.
This whole case has been based on what people said. There's absolutely no evidence that ever linked Zach Adams to Holly Bobo.
And no conviction will ever bring Holly home.
I made a promise to the Bobo family 6.5 years ago that we would never stop investigating this until we brought someone to justice.
But tonight, a 6 years long wait is over. This marathon trial, though, is not over. The same 6 men and 6 women who delivered that guilty verdict against Zach Adams will now decide his sentence, whether or not he will live or die for the crimes he has committed. In Hardin County, Chris Conti, News Channel 5.
Chris, thank you. A truly emotional day that really has been a long time coming. While Holly's family has been through years of heartache, the family of the convicted killer is now dealing with another kind of grief. Our Kimberly Davis has that story.
It has been a day full of different emotions. Some are overcome by joy, and others are dealing with a deep sorrow many of us can't even begin to fathom. Take a look at this video. As you can see, Zach Adams' mother was seen leaving the courthouse completely devastated. She's now coming to terms with the fact that 12 jurors will now decide if her son will live or be sentenced to death. The jury found Adams guilty on all 6 charges he was facing. This trial has lasted 2 weeks and it's still not over. It was a very emotional day for people who were closest to Holly and for people who joined in the search more than 6 years ago. Holly's nursing instructor has been following this case from the beginning and is happy to finally get to this day.
And I'm sorry for the struggle and the pain that the Autreys and the Adams and the Austins will be going through. But we do have the right answer. I believe it in all of my heart.
Again, it is